Yo, what is going on, my fellows? It's your boy DyeItTight here, bringing you a new league. It's the GPC season 8. Season 8, right?
Yeah, season 8.
Sweet, season 8. Bringing you a draft recap with your boy.
Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Melontosh here. Just doing a draft recap. It's gonna be pretty fun.
Alright, so I went ahead. Took me 4 hours. I sat there, got myself a perfect draft. What the ideal draft is. I was talking to Melon about it. So hype. So the whole point was I was pick 2, so I was like, I need Celesteela. So you know what? Pick 1. Celesteela got taken. So so I had to go with Tapu Quick or Tapu Koko, which looking at it, I kind of forgot that Tapu Koko is mainly a physical attacker because Wild Charge is really a big hitter.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah,
I think it just gets a better special move pool.
Oh yeah, much better with Volt Switch, Grass Knot, Dazzling Gleam. I don't even think it gets a physical Fairy type move. Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
The day it gets Play Rough is the day it's broken.
For sure.
Even Defog, even on Defog, Roost, and Screens, that'd be crazy.
Yeah, no, that would be really crazy. I think especially Screens would go well with the rest of your team. I think.
Yeah.
Even stuff like Taunt.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Exactly. But so then again, since I was picked 2, we had to go all the way down to 16, and then all the way back since it was a snake draft. So the mons I wanted kind of went pretty fast. I wanted Mega Lopunny. I wanted a whole bunch of offensive. Maybe I was gonna run some hyper offense. But instead, I got pretty much the opposite, some hyper defense, and I got Beetroot or Mega Venusaur. You guys have seen me use it before in the IPL draft, bringing me to a victory. But I just love how versatile it can be. Usually people prep for me to bring Stun Spore or Sleep Powder, but I really don't. I don't really like the Spore moves. I like Leech Seed, I like Earthquake, I like Giga Drain, just stuff like that, just because putting things to sleep, especially doesn't pair well with Tapu Koko. If I brought Sleep Powder, just because of Electric Terrain, but I really like how good it pairs up with Tapu Koko.
Yeah, they pair really, really well together. And like you said, you don't want that 25% chance to miss. That's just not something you really want going on in your draft. And Venue's just a pain to build for. So yeah, it's a great mon for sure.
Yeah, and then I realized I had a really bad fire weakness. I know Mega Venusaur isn't has the thick fat, but just in case I need to switch it in, and someone predicts and uses fire type, or right now it's looking like I have a nice psychic type / ice type weakness. So because Kieran Black's running around, so Terravolt can really run through thick fat. So I needed a nice fire type. So I wanted Victini. Victini got taken. I was thinking maybe Jirachi. Jirachi got taken. So I had to settle, and I got Krakatoa, my Heatran. Which I've never used Heatran before in format in Draft League. I've used it in the ladder, and I've only really brought bulky defense. Or you guys saw the live I made with the double trapper where I had ground EMZ Heatran, which I learned was pretty cool. But I don't know, I'm just never really used Heatran before.
I actually had it in GPC season 6. With Mega Scizor rather than Mega Venusaur. But yeah, I really liked it. It's a really good mon. Yeah, obviously you have to watch out for the 4 times weakness to ground. But if you can get over that, then it's a really great mon, for sure.
Alright, and this was kind of my wheel pick, so because I was pick 2, then it was pick 1, then it was pick 1, then pick 2. So I thought I needed a nice dark type. I needed a nice flying type because again, the ground weakness is real. Mega Venusaur is neutral, but still that seeing that Excadrill is running around pretty commonly and stuff like that, I kind of needed a big, even both Landerses are in the league, which is scary as hell, that I could pick up Buzzkill, my Mandibuzz, which can thinking about looking at weak armor, it reminded me of Volby and LC because I was a fan of LC for a while.
Okay.
Watching Volby set up like that, maybe I could bring a Brave Bird weak armor set. Just
I actually played Greg in a meme match, and I brought Weak Armor Nasty Plot. Mandibuzz. It was really fun. Yeah.
So yeah, I just need a nice defogger, a nice rooster, something just to come in and be able just to take hits right to the face and be able just to U-turn out, maybe get some status off, just be my Stallmon. And then so I wanted a dragon type. Dragonite was too expensive, and I had an idea what ground type I wanted, so I needed maybe a nice ice type and a nice dragon type. And Kyurem Black was too expensive, and Kyurem White is banned. So I picked up Chill Noble, Kyurem, and it happens to be one of my Z move users. And so looking at this, I didn't realize it has the same attack as it had Spatak. This thing is a monster.
Yeah. This thing is a complete monster. And I think actually like a physical variant really catches people off guard with this thing. And can really do some damage for sure, especially with a Z move. Like Z Outrage, man, that's going to hurt.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's really recovering from that one.
No.
So then, again, it comes down to how many where I was in the picking, but I wanted a nice water type. Alamola got sniped. Tapu Fini was just too much. I already had a fairy type, so I went with Mr. Pringles to Jellicent. I've never used Jellicent before, and I don't think ever, but I watched 6 Foot Hacks use it, or Leo, and he used it really well. So I was excited to just try it out. It's a nice Hexer. I think that's its most common set with Recover, but it gets really good coverage moves.
Yeah, really good coverage moves. I actually think it's better than Alamomola as well. You don't get the wish support, but I think it's less passive. And because of the coverage as well, you can just slap stuff on to hit things super effectively, which is really nice.
Yeah, I wanted Alamomola, and then I was thinking, if I bring Alamomola, I almost need another water type because the Jellicent the Alamomola can't hit things as hard.
Yeah.
But even looking at it as a water spout, in one of the leagues in the PCP, just one of my older leagues, one of my friends, because I was Rain last season, he brought Choice Scarfed Water Spout Blastoise.
That's fire, to be fair.
If you just run max HP, max speed, Scarf, and just throw off freaking water spouts, there's not many, it will catch someone off guard instantly.
Yeah, for sure. I'd never see that coming.
So that brings us on to the next pick, which again, I kind of doubled up on typings a little bit, but I got my personal low, I got Garfield, which is going to be one of my Z move users, just for Z Parting Shot, pretty much. But yeah,
Z Parting Shot's broken. Sorry.
No worries. You guys saw in my IPL week 1, I brought it, and I was just able to do just a shit ton of damage with Parting Shot to be able to get out. Even Foul Play, I don't know if you saw my IPL week 1, but he switched in Delmise on my Foul Play, and it took literally 100.
Yeah. Foul Play is actually a great move. Foul Play this over.
Last season, I went against Zardax, and he set up in my Porygon's face, so I clicked Foul Play, and it just dropped.
Yeah, so nice.
Yeah, and Parting Shot, I just think is one of the best moves. Just being able to it's just amazing. And even
I think
it has such a quick speed tier that I can I don't know, just be able to bring it in fast and switch out.
Yeah, for sure. And I think you can Parting Shot into something like Coco and set up Calm Minds. That could potentially be a really big thing for you. And also it gives you a Volt Turn core with Tapu Koko, because Parting Shot's basically Volt Switch or U-Turn. You get the same momentum. So that's pretty nice.
Yeah, and then so I was thinking with Parting Shot, I needed something to be a little stally, so I got Thicky Licky. And first of all, Oblivious could be really cool to not get taunted, or even Cloud9 to bring in against Sand, because there's if I just throw it in, I can almost beat Tyranitar for I don't know, maybe if I ran Focus Blast, because it doesn't get the Spadef attachment from the Sand.
Yeah.
But So what I was thinking when I was writing this down was if I parting shot into Licky Licky, throw up a wish, and go back into Persian Alola, I could stall out most teams.
Yeah, for sure. And Alolan Persian has that fur coat, which makes it more bulky, right?
Yeah, so it doesn't take even close to as many. Yeah, because its defense is doubled, so it's 156 uninvested, so it instantly goes to what was that 342, which is already stronger than
Yeah, that's crazy.
that's
And
like
if you
that's like
invest, it's like 480.
yeah,
That's high.
especially like that's no HP stat. If you just throw it in HP, it's just crazy.
Yeah, for sure. Wait 1 second. I'm going to see if that is indeed. Yeah, that's more defense than Skarmory. Just saying.
Yeah,
That's more defense than Skarmory. And
yeah.
it has the same HP stat? Does it
Yep,
have 65 HP? Yeah.
yep.
So that's so bulky. What the hell?
It takes 50 from a Mega Beedrill U-turn.
What the hell?
Yeah,
Man. I did not know this cat was that fat.
yeah.
Wow.
But moving on, so the ground type I either wanted Rhyperior or Rhydon, just because I don't know, it's just such a good rocker ground type. It really is underrated for some reason. I know it has a 4-time weakness to grass and water, but it can usually live at least one attack and be able to throw back. And with its base 130 attack, kind of can just put holes in teams if you're not prepared for it.
Yeah, I agree. Especially with the Eviolite, it gets way more Spadef than like Rhydon, and it's normally cheaper than Rhydon, and I actually think it's better. And it's actually something I was considering as well, but then I picked up a Mon that really wouldn't pair well with it. So
Yeah, and this is the horn, by the way. And then next we have the only dirty name that will be on this team. We got Klitster, a Cloyster. And you know what Cloyster's gonna do? I needed a spinner. I wanted Hitmonlee for that fighting type, but Hitmonlee was taken, so I needed a spinner. So I took Cloyster. Now this doubles up on the water and the ice type, but that's actually better because that means Cloyster can do its own thing. That's why I like doubling. That's why so for the draft, you could have 8 to 12 mons. So being able to have 12 means that sometimes I can have different mons play different roles. Like if I didn't have Mr. Pringles, that means Cloyster would have to play the water type. But I can bring Pringles and Cloyster and make it so Cloyster can be more offensive, even Shell Smash variant. Well, Mr. Pringles can be like what is it?
the bulky water.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And I think if you just had Cloyster, like you'd really struggle with like a really strong fire type that can deal with Heatran. Something like that would really be a problem for your team. But you've got Jellicent, so having both is definitely really nice for you.
Yeah.
And it gives you spikes and T-spikes, which is something you didn't have, I don't think, before Cloyster.
Yeah, I only had rocks. I had a
Yeah.
good amount of rock. Wait, does Licky get rocks?
No, I don't think so.
Alright. So moving on, I ended up picking up that fighting type. And it's actually my Z move user, my third one. And this is Cha-Cha Slide, because everybody clap your hands, it's Hariyama. And Melon and I were actually, just before this video, looking at calcs on what it can do to mons that we won't name, because the person might watch it, but it just puts in the most work. Even if I don't,
It really does.
Even if I don't need to run it with a Z move, Guts just kills just everything.
Yeah. And it actually has 3 great abilities. Like you can run Thick Fat, Guts, or Sheer Force. Like they're all really good abilities. I think that's what I really like about Hariyama for years.
If I use close combat, does it not lower my stats with Sheer Force? Because it nullifies the effect. I don't think I've ever seen
Yeah. I don't think I've ever seen that before.
That's cool.
I don't know. I don't know if it works like that. I have no idea. If it does, then that would be so good.
That's broken. I don't know why people haven't run that before, because that's crazy.
Wait, let me put it in the calc and see if it gets the sheer force boost. Hariyama, Assault Vest. Sheer force. No, it doesn't get the boost.
Yeah, because it's a secondary effect. So.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Yeah, I know what you're saying. Like it should nullify the effect, right?
Yeah. yeah, this thing, I can run it bulky too with Whirlwind just in case something sets up. I can have priority. I can use bulk up. This thing just has a lot of things that I can do.
Yeah,
But
great mon.
realizing I had 1 point left in my Z movers and in my draft, I realized that the blessing had to come. Had to get the mascot. Had to get Luis, the Z move user, which honestly, looking at it, it's not even that slow. Its attack stat is pretty damn bad, but it's not horrible. It can like, I don't know. I don't know if it'll ever be brought, or if it might be brought to one match, and that's if I'm not in the playoff race, either because I'm winning or because I'm losing, it will be brought.
Yeah, fair enough. Choice banded skill link tail slap. That's all I'm gonna say.
Alright, so now that's my draft. Make sure to comment down below about what you guys think I should do better. But now moving on to Melon's team.
Wait, let me grab my team up. Yeah, so I actually knew what I wanted for my Mega. Like from the beginning, I didn't think I was going to get it, but I went ahead and got Mama Jackie, Mega Kangaskhan. It's called Mama Jackie because of Jackie legs, and I feel like the little guy who comes out the pouch is Jackie legs for sure. But most of my nicknames are awful, just so you guys know. But I really like this thing. It's a humongous wall breaker. It can wish pass as well, which is really nice. Actually, it has really good bulk. And I really wanted to try it because I've seen it do decently in leagues, but I've never seen it do really, really well. So my kind of plan was to just try and make it shine in the league. So that's going to be my aim for the league with Mega Kangaskhan.
Yeah, just looking at it, I've never seen Mega Kangaskhan get used. I've used it in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, or in Sun and Moon, to climb the battle tree, and every time I would use Power Up Punch because you instantly get a +2 once you use it. So even if you have no attack investment and you just throw in HP, you get +2 already. So your attack stat goes from 286 to 572, which is just crazy. I didn't realize it was base 100 speed, which is great. It doesn't take a lot of investment to outspeed certain walls. Being base 100, it like naturally outspeeds mostly everything. Like walls would have to throw in investment to outspeed. So
yeah, for sure, it's great. The only thing I really have to watch out for is like Rocky Helmet users, but other than that, it's gonna be great. So then I really wanted to. Basically, I was doing a mock battle with my buddy II. Shout outs to you, and he had a team that had this next mon, Tapu Bulu, on it with Mega Kangaskhan, and it was so hard to prep for both of them because you want to put the Rocky Helmet on, but you need the leftovers to take the hits from Tapu Bulu. So I went ahead, grabbed Tapu Bulu. Obviously, it hits like an absolute truck. It's got 130 attack with Grassy Surge, so I get 1.5 on my like increase on my grass type attacks, which is crazy. Obviously, it does have that 4 times weakness to poison, but I think I can play around that. And hopefully the rest of my draft can support that 4 times weakness as well. But I'm really excited to use Tapu Bulu. I did use it in Pika in my first ever Gen 7 league. I picked it round 1, which I don't think is a round 1 pick, but it's still a great mon, and I really, really enjoyed using it.
Yeah, this thing, I'm not a big fan of Tapu Bulu in draft league, just because personally I just don't know how to use mon like this. It's hard to, like you said, the 4 times weakness to poison is kind of tragic, but it can play around easily with just simple switch-ins, because Tapu Bulu is the type of thing where you have to attack it right in front of you, because if you play it wrong, it will pick up the kill. So you have to use your fire or your poison type move to it, so it's easier to switch into to be able to counter it. And even giving your Kangaskhan the grassy terrain to be able to switch in and get that recovery is actually really good. I don't know if Mega Kangaskhan gets any Kangaskhan gets any grass type moves, but that would certainly be boosted up. I mean, look, it gets hidden power grass.
Yeah. And you're going to see with the rest of my team that my team really likes having grassy terrain up. So if I can just keep Bulu around in my matches, then that's going to be really useful for the rest of my team. So then I had to wait pretty much 16 more picks because I was very close to the bottom. I think I was second last,
Yeah,
so
you're
like the
19th.
opposite of you. Yeah. And I was really hopeful I was going to get this thing. I was pretty sure I was going to get it because it's not very often that Holucha, which was my next pick, Nacho Libre, goes round 3. And I figured, again, with Mega Kangaskhan, it's really hard to prep for Holucha, Mega Kangaskhan, and Bulu. Like, say if you have like defensive Mew or something, you want to put Rocky Helmet on it, but then all of a sudden +2 acrobatics does way too much, and you want your leftovers. So that's why I like having these 3. And it's going to be kind of a theme throughout my team, that it's kind of just physical offense that puts loads of pressure on the opponent. I'm not sure if I really like my team or not, but I think we're going to find out when the season starts. But what Holucha does is pretty standard. I mean, it comes in, uses the grassy seed, gets its speed boost, and just sweeps. That's basically Holucha.
Yeah. The most of the time running around on the OU ladder, the one thing that always kills me is just that Holucha. Just because no matter how hard you like try to play for it, you just slip up one turn or you let one wall get hurt because it needs to do something else, and Holucha just is able to clean the game. Like, you prepping for Holucha, you need a check to it, and usually your check will have to be a check to something else. Like, your check to Holucha will also have to be your check to Kangaskhan. So all Kangaskhan needs to do is just get a little bit of return damage. So return does whatever, 25% to it, then plus the 5% from. So now it's down 30%. +2 acrobatics cleans up easily. All you need is just to get the SD, because even if you want to run Focus Sash, SD, Holucha, throw it in against the threat, lose your Focus Sash, so you get the +2, get the speed boost, and then just continue to sweep.
Yeah, exactly. And then trying to deal with +2 Holucha and +2 Kangaskhan, that's not easy to prep for, I don't think. So I really like Holucha on this team. My next pick, I knew I wanted this mon from the beginning, basically because it gives me good ground offense, even in grassy terrain, which is something that's kind of hard to do because it nullifies Earthquake, of course. So I went and grabbed Zydogo. Zygarde 10%. It's got 115 speed, which is really nice. I now have 2 really fast mons on my team, which I think is really important for a draft. And it just hits really hard. It hits just as hard as Zygarde 50%. Some people don't realize that. They have the exact same attack stat. And yeah, it gives me extreme speed as well. It's pretty standard what this thing will do. It'll be banned, it'll be scarfed, it'll be dragon dance. Yeah, it's a great mon.
Yeah, I have it in the IPL season, and just extreme speed can really just put holes. Like, it's just Zygarde is just known for just being able just to set up a little bit and just extreme speeds creep, sweep. Sorry, not creep. Even if you have it just laid back a little bit, take some damage, just switch it in, revenge or threaten to revenge some offensive threats. In it really makes people think twice about trying to prep for setup against you, because that Zygarde can just do 50 to 60% with one choice banded extreme speed.
Yeah. That's what's so good about it. Yeah, for sure.
Looking at your next pick, though, one thing I like about your team is that you have some pretty damn good priority, which can really stop any team.
Yeah, my next pick is Peekaboo, the Mimikyu. I know it's a really standard name, but I actually think it's a really cool name, so I went ahead and used it anyway. And I do get Shadow Sneak on this thing, which is just awesome because now I have like 2 really good priority options. And the thing I really like about Mimikyu is like it's a bit like Ditto, where you can't sweep until Mimikyu is disguised as busted, especially with like really powerful dragons like a Zygarde 50% or a Salamence or something like that. Mimikyu is really good at stopping those things. This is going to be, sorry, I didn't mention, Zydogo and Mimikyu are both my Z move users, which is really cool. I think Mimikyu is a amazing Z move user because I can always 100% get up to +2, and the +2, I know I've only got 90 attack stat with Mimikyu, but +2 Z move does a lot. It does a lot to a mon. That's for sure. And again, that can be the damage I need on something for my Holucha to sweep. So yeah, those first five mons really put off like physical offensive pressure on my opponent, which is really nice.
Yeah, I really like Mimikyu. I never used it in Draft League just because it always costs too much, but in this league, it's a really good pick. I've seen people use the Destiny Bond variant. Um, Even Mimikyu EMZ that just came out is really scary for people to try to prep for because that really does at +2 put holes in it. Um, Seeing like it has Will-O-Wisp and Trick Room and even Wood Hammer that go well with your uh, whatever can't think your Tapu Bulu.
Tapu Bulu,
Yeah,
yeah.
can pair really well. Getting bulk up, Thunder Wave, it can be a really good cleric, even. And yeah,
Yeah, true.
and your team looks like it could maybe run Trick Room one game or something. So just being able to have it set up the Trick Room could be really cool.
Yeah, for sure. Like Trick Room Tapu Bulu could be quite scary in certain matchups. That could be cool, yeah. So next up, I realized I had like no hazards and no hazard removal, and also I needed a still type, so I figured, hey, let's grab Fortress. The Walnut. Originally here, I wanted Empoleon, but me and Johnny or Ricepool were talking, and he said he wanted Empoleon as well, and he showed me his draft plan, and he did actually like intend to draft Empoleon before I wanted to draft Empoleon. So I said, okay, you can keep Empoleon and I'll find something else. That ended up getting sniped from him anyway. So that was pretty funny. But I grabbed Walnut. It's pretty standard what it does. It can Volt Switch, it can Gyro Ball, it can set up spikes and Stealth Rocks, which is really nice that I have spikes as well now. And I can Rapid Spin them away, which means I can keep my hazards up as I remove hazards. Which is something I think is really important. But other than that, it's not going to be doing too much. It's a huge physical ball, of course. It has more physical bulk than something like Skarmory. And it does have that 4 times weakness again to fire, but now I have 2 4 times weaknesses. I have 3 actually, which can be kind of hard to prep for. Especially with Tapu Bulu, you do run 1 Hidden Power Poison because it can just chew hits, and Fortress can chew hits as well. So I really like having this thing on my team.
Yeah, I love Fortress. The only problem is obviously it gets hit really hard on the special side, and just running around with HP Fire could really catch you off guard. But the Sturdy really comes in handy that if you need those hazards, if someone brings webs against you, you can get the webs off. And it also helps that if you use webs, you don't have to defog away your webs and then reset up your own hazards, your own webs again. But looking at Fortress, getting counters really good because it's kind of expected, but not a lot of people expect it. And also with Gyro Ball, that really can take a toll on people's teams. Volt Switch is just a great move in general for Fortress to have, just be able to get on out of there. Even Explosion, if you run like normal gem, Explosion could really just catch someone off.
True, I think normal gem's banned though.
Oh, so just Explosion, you really just catch someone off guard.
Yeah, exactly. So coming with my next pick, I wanted some more hazard removal. Ideally, actually, I wanted defog because I think it's nice to have 1 defogger and 1 rapid spinner. As like you can always get defog off if someone hazard stacks you. No matter what, you're going to get defog off. And if you have a hazard stack team, I think it's nice to have 1 rapid spinner. But I did grab Leonardo the Blastoise, which is another rapid spinner. And spoilers, I don't have a defogger, but I do have many options of like stacking my opponent with hazards. So hopefully it shouldn't be too much of a problem. But if I run into a really bulky ghost type, this could be kind of problematic. But Blastoise does get stuff like Dark Pulse. It is my bulky water. I think it's really, really underrated as a bulky water. It takes hits really well. As it doesn't get reliable recovery, it also really, really appreciates the grassy terrain from Tapu Bulu, as it would get 2 rounds of leftovers essentially while grassy terrain's up. It has a huge move pool, but most weeks this thing's just going to be Toxic King, Rapid Spinning, Scolding, doing what Blastoise does best pretty much.
Yeah, never really used Blastoise or Mega Blastoise. Obviously don't have Mega Blastoise, but the only thing I really know about Blastoise is the Scarfed Water Spout, but honestly Blastoise is just super bulky. Rapid Spin, like you said. Defog is nice, but Rapid Spin is just cool. The good thing about your Blastoise is if someone sets up rocks and spikes, it doesn't take the same type of damage that Walnut would take, and it's also bulky enough to take a hit on both sides, especially and defensively, that it will definitely get off that Rapid Spin.
Yeah, exactly. So Exactly. So next up, I wanted a proper electric check because Zydoggo will literally die to any HP ice, and I really don't want to be risking that thing like it is a huge offensive threat. So I went and grabbed Nidoqueen. It also gives me a grounded poison type to absorb toxic spikes, which I think is really useful in League. You've got Mega Venusaur for that, and Victoria, the Nidoqueen, is a great use of that. Of course, it gets Sheer Force with Life Orb. Makes it hit really, really hard, even though it doesn't have huge offensive stats. I don't know why these things just hit. Both the Nidos hit so hard. Obviously, Nidoking hits a little bit harder, and Nidoqueen has that bulk. As I don't have many walls on this team, so it's nice to have some bulky offense in Nidoqueen. It also gives me another Rocker, which is really nice, and a T-Spiker. So now I have nearly all the hazards, and you guys are going to see that I do indeed have all the hazards in this team. But that's pretty much all to say about Victoria. Standard stuff. It does really well.
Yeah. Again, Nidoqueen's kind of like Kyurem. No one expects physical, but on that off chance that you run physical, it can really put a dent into people's teams. Does it get? Yeah, it gets regular Earthquake, which can really catch teams off guard. I don't know. It gets Poison Jab. It gets Power Up Punch. Even if you run like a Power Up Punch, Poison Jab, Earthquake, filler move. It can really just catch teams off guard, Sucker Punch, and just really be able just to do the most work.
Yeah, exactly. The only thing with regular Earthquake is I do have the grassy terrain which weakens it, but if it's not on the field, then for sure, it's definitely something I could bring. And people probably won't expect it. Say if it's a week where I don't want to bring Tapu Bulu, then they won't plan really for physical Earthquake because they'll think, oh, there's no way he'll bring it because he has Tapu Bulu.
Exactly.
So next up, I was kind of running out of points at this stage, and I really needed a Dark type, and I really wanted some knockoff users because having knockoff users for Mega Kang is really good, and I actually wish I had more knockoff users on this team. But we have Selena the Lipard. It's called Selena because Selena Kyle from Batman is the name of Catwoman, so that was a fun name.
That makes
Yeah. So Prankster is the main ability with this thing, and you can come in, you can encore things that want to set up on it. You can foul play like we talked about with Alolan Persian. Foul play is a great move, especially on dark types. It's kind of like a budget Alolan Persian, I would say. It's not as fast, it's not as strong, it's not as bulky, but it does the same kind of similar things. It gets a good move pool. It can nasty plot as well, which is fun, and Sucker Punch and Taunt. It gives me priority Thunder Wave as well, which is really fun.
Yeah, and I didn't realize this thing gets Unburden, so you could potentially run Grassy Seed on it and try to sweep.
I actually didn't think about that either, but that is pretty cool. Yeah, I could run Grassy Seed, boost that defense up, and then try and get a sweep off. That's pretty cool. So next up, actually my original plan with Kangaskhan, well, not my original plan, it was more of a passing thought, was to get Gothitelle because Shadow Tag is allowed. So I figured like trapping the mons that will have the Rocky Helmet for Kangaskhan could be really, really threatening. But I figured it was too expensive, so I went and grabbed Woman in Black, which is Gothita, which is, of course, the pre-evolution of Gothitelle. I was actually running some calcs, and with the Eviolite, this thing actually takes hits. And I actually think I'll be able to do a decent job of trapping things with Gothita. Like, if you have a really defensive mon that maybe is really weak on the special side, like a Skarmory or something like that. Skarmory's not that weak on the special side, but I do get something like Thunderbolt, and I will be able to trap the Skarmory. And if you're forced to run something like Shed Shell, I'm not sure if Shed Shell works with Shadow Tag.
I think it does. I think that's
yeah, okay.
And then you also have Ghost types that can switch out.
Yeah, Ghost types as well. But then you don't have the Rocky Helmet for Kangaskhan, which makes Kangaskhan way more of a threat.
Yeah.
So I really like Gothita on this team. It was really cheap as well, so I thought, why not pick it up?
Again, the same thing I said with the Mimikyu, it could help with Trick Room, and then also looking at it, Heal Bell could be really nice just to have in the back, just in case anything ever happened. Does this thing get Wish? No, but just for something, you could run. Honestly, maybe you can run a Focus Sash, Foul Play. So if something sets up, switch it in. You don't expect it to live, gets bodied all the way down the Focus Sash, Foul Plays, and picks up the kill.
Yeah.
And then this is
exactly.
This thing does get Mirror Coat. So.
Oh really?
So you could run Shadow Tag Mirror Coat, and something like my Tapu Koko Volt switches out, and a Mirror Coat pretty much gets a kill.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much gets a kill on most things. Yeah, that's pretty decent. I didn't think about that. My next one, here was the biggest snipe. There was a few snipes in the draft, but this was the biggest snipe for me. It was like 2 or 3 picks before my pick, and I figured there's no way anyone's going to want Masquerain. There's no way. And I thought Masquerain was busted for 2 points because it gets Quiver Dance and Sticky Webs. So I was so annoyed that thing went. So I went and grabbed Silas because of Silas Morna. I don't know if you've ever read that book. We had to read it in school, and it's about a weaver. So whatever. So I just went ahead and called this thing Silas. Sorry. And it gets webs, which is really, really nice. The other thing which is actually really nice about this, which Masquerain wouldn't have given me, is that this has a 4 times weakness to fire, and Tapu Bulu has a 4 times weakness to poison. So people may feel more inclined to run that fire move rather than the poison move. And if they do run the poison move, and I bring Livani as a switcher, maybe to an electric type or something like that, that is a bit problematic for my opponent, and I can get webs up on it. And this thing's bulk is actually really underestimated, and it actually has 103 attack, which is really, really respectable, with Swords Dance and Baton Pass. So yeah, I really like this thing. I wish it was Masquerain, but I think Livani is going to be great anyway.
Yeah, as you were saying about Livani, they might bring a fire type move over the poison, which does really benefit the team. And then webs, again, there's nothing else to say about webs except it really is the difference between wins or losses. You already have a fast-paced team, but with webs, it makes it so you don't have to run speed on most of your mons, so then they definitely can run more bulk to take more hits to set up more. Like, you won't have to run Kanga as speedy to put more HP investment or bulk or attack, so then it can get up to +2, +4 with power up punch and really be able to outspeed everything at base 100.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly why I wanted Sticky Webs on the team. As my last point, it's just for like Kang, maybe even Bulu, stuff like that. Sticky Webs is amazing for. So my last pick, I actually originally, I can't remember what I was going to pick originally. It wasn't this mon, and then I saw that Rufus, who's in my division, picked up Mega Pinsir. And I was like, oh my god, like I do not have a Mega Pinsir switch in anywhere. And then I realized that I didn't actually have a flying check, period. And people could easily pick up flying types throughout the season. So I went and got Golem. Dwayne the Golem Johnson, coming in hot right now, it's actually decent. It was 2 points, and I think this thing's really underrated. I was looking at some calcs and stuff. It gets sturdy, so I can be like sturdy, weakness policy, rock polish if I really want to bring the heat. It's very slow though, so it's not going to outspeed much. But even so, it's just a good check to bird spam, which I really, really like. And it's not like I have to bring it for bird spam, but when bird spam is prepping for me, they have to prep for the golem. And I can bring it if I want. And obviously it's got Stone Edge, it's got ground moves, it's got decent coverage, stuff like Explosion as well. Unfortunately, Custard Berry is banned, so I can't run like Custard Berry Sturdy Explosion on Fortress or this thing. But I think it's a really nice one. It gets raw, so things can't set up on it. And it gives me another rocker, of course, which is always nice.
Yeah, Golem is just, looking at its defense, like, honestly, it can check any flying type that you have a problem with. And with Mega Pinsir, it runs close combat, but I doubt close combat's really doing enough to be able to knock that thing out. And even if it's set up to +6, Sturdy will come in, and all you need to do is hit your rock moves.
Yeah, exactly. And my team's so offensive that it's unlikely that something like Pinsir's going to get the opportunity to set up on it. I can't see many mons on my team it's going to be able to set up on. Maybe like Blastoise, but then it risks a burn.
Exactly. Exactly.
So, yeah. And close combat, I think there's a decent chunk, but it's not going to be doing loads and loads.
And it'd be hard to set up knowing that with Shadow Sneak, and a +2 Shadow Sneak at least, and then a Banded Extreme Speed.
Yeah. Or even just having my disguise up with Mimikyu, I don't even need to Shadow Sneak.
Oh, yeah.
I can just go for the Z move and knock it straight out or something like that. So, yeah, I really like what Golem does for my team. But that is the end of my draft. I'm not sure about my draft, to be honest. I think it could go one of two ways. I think I'm either really going to like it or really not going to like it. But I really wanted to try loads of the mons, and so I'm excited to use it for sure.
Yeah, I can picture you dropping Selena or like and Woman in Black for like like a little something you need. Um, yeah, overall,
Yeah.
I think both drafts are impressive. This is my first time doing a open draft. I usually have like one tier one, one tier two.
You have like tiered
Two,
system.
yeah, two tier threes, tier four, tier five, and then 4 free picks.
Yeah. What did you think of points draft then? Do you like it or not really?
It's just different. It's really cool. I really like. I do like it. Like, I don't know. I think my team was pretty good for point draft for the first time, but
Yeah, I think point drafts are harder.
yeah. Because
Yeah.
again, with tiering, you get sniped. Oh well, but like with point draft, if you get sniped, you really need to adjust because most people have their drafts to the point. Like I had mine down to 0.
Yeah.
So if I get sniped, I can't like. If I got sniped with Jellison, I would have to go to like Melontosh, which would have added a point.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, that's what makes it so hard.
So then something else would have needed to take a seat, and then I would have needed to get something for that, and just pretty much redo my whole strategy.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the thing is with points drafts, you really have to be open. I think with a tiered system, you can be more like closed and probably plan it out and not think too much. But I think with a points draft, you have to be able to adapt your draft and pay more for your bulky water that just got sniped, or have to pay less and have a different kind of mon. But yeah, I think I prefer points drafts just because it's a bit harder and more tactical. I think.
Yeah, it really shows who's like really thinking about their team.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
All right.
So
I think it's time to wrap this one up. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to check out the description down below. Melon's channel will be down there. And yeah, any last words?
No. Hope you guys enjoyed.
See you guys in week 1 that's coming out every Sunday. So peace.
Cool.